Inside Out 2 becomes Pixar's top-grossing movie of all time globally, $1.251 billion, passing The Incredibles 2. So can we say that releasing a movie in the theaters first instead of straight to Disney Plus is a better business deal for Disney? And after this they can still hype it up when it hits their streaming service. Anxiety chugging the 5 energy drinks spoke to me as a 30-year-old guy, lol. I'm still holding out for A Bug's Life 2. People complain about how many sequels we get, yet they keep making this happen. Please note, the movie it took the top spot from was also a sequel. But I love Pixar and I'm glad to see their movies do well. Sonic the Hedgehog dodged every curveball thrown at Hollywood to become a hit franchise. And this started with The Ugly Sonic. I guess you could say that Sega and Paramount had to live and learn to get to where they are today with the Sonic movie franchise. I'm stealing this from a YouTube comment, but kinda crazy they made a decent trilogy in 4 years with the same directors and writers, essentially. Pretty unheard of. Even the budgets weren't too bad. In another timeline, Ugly Sonic is on his 10th movie and living the good life. Yeah, I just watched 1 and 2 for the first time last night, lol. It's crazy how they're about to be on project number 5. They were almost DOA when the initial first look at Sonic came out, lol. Goes to show you listening to fans sometimes isn't the worst idea. James Cameron never should have started Avatar. We lost a great director. You didn't lose him due to Avatar, he simply softly retired. The Avatar franchise is a hobby of his that just happened to rake in billions. Be happy for him, he's legit doing what he loves. Why'd you phrase it like he died? My cozy setup. Man, you must look at the monitor like a tennis umpire. Gotta move your entire head just to check your health bar. Margot Robbie reveals Wolf of Wall Street full frontal nude scene was her idea. She revealed this years ago. I saw this movie during a matinee, and the husband of this cute old couple, like in their 80s, was explaining everything that happened to his wife. When this scene happened he let out a loud audible "Ugh." Exactly how I'd have described it. If I looked that good I would be naked all the time. Michael Cole on WWE's Prime sponsorship, Vince would have never allowed it. That feeling you get when the worst person you know would have been right. Maybe this is something Vince was right about. It's easy to forget because he's a POS and had lost his fastball by the end, but there's a reason the WWE is the huge entity it became during his stewardship. I'm glad that Chinese and Korean devs are finally using theater talents to make single-player AAA console games instead of just mobile cash grabs. More good competition is to find telly what the AAA industry needs right now. Good for them. Stellar Blade is pretty heavily funded by mobile cash grabs. Nick pulled in $300 million over the last 2 years, with Stellar Blade pulling in $70 million in its launch year. By the company's standards, Stellar Blade did really well, but having Nick running in the background pulling in a ton of money made it easier to commit to a single-player experience. The mobile cash grabs are the reason they can now make AAA games. Crimson Desert has huge potential if it can land on its feet on release. Official poster for Love Me starring Kristen Stewart and Steven Yeun, a post-apocalyptic romance in which a buoy and a satellite meet online and fall in love after the end of human civilization. But Steven, you can't marry a woman without solar panels. You're from 2 different worlds. Would you love me if I was a buoy? This sounds like it's something someone came up with to make fun of A24. How Saving Private Ryan's D-Day sequence changed the way we see war. My grandfather tried to watch the movie but he couldn't. It was too real for him. He was a World War II vet from the 30th Infantry Division. They landed on the beaches of Normandy a few days after D-Day. He said that there were still the bodies of dead on the beach and some in the water. He told me that it looked like a lot of them had drowned. They got out of their boats and couldn't swim with all of their gear on. I think the movie showed that happening during beach scene. I ran a theater when this came out. When that scene was about to start, the entire staff would run inside to watch it. Every time it was shown and every day for weeks. The sound was incredible. It was the most captivating scene of any movie ever, really. I've always said we need more realistic, gory, and gritty war movies to help folks understand both what they went through and what we send our military into. I wish more theaters around me showed older movies. Would do anything to watch this in IMAX. All the changes made to Captain America, Brave New World during the rewrites and reshoots. My headcanon is that the comic-accurate big-headed leader is what Stearns looked like before Ross experimented on him further. For all the people who say these ideas would have been better, it's easy to post some ideas on a page and make them sound appealing. The execution of those ideas is another matter, entirely. I'm sure if someone had explained some of the concepts beforehand for Love and Thunder or Secret Invasion, they would have sounded exciting. Can someone explain this? Play Hogwarts Legacy and you'll hear this at least 5 times a minute. Fast travel points in Hogwarts Legacy. Eventually it got patched, making that phrase less frequent. But, man, it was frequent before. Off on another adventure? Official IMAX poster for Captain America, Brave New World. Falcon had better pray Hulk follows the TOS people instead of pulling them apart ethos of super strength. Harrison Ford looks great for someone who's 82. Fun fact, there's no CG in this poster. That's just what Harrison Ford does when you talk about nerd shit in his presence. This matchup makes absolutely no fucking sense. What is one Harry Potter detail that you insist on correcting people? I have a lot of issues with the Goblet of Fire movie, and the way the director interpreted the books, but one of them is that Durmstrang and Beauxbatons are not a boys' school and a girls' school respectively, they both had both. I'm pretty sure Nicholas Flamel went to Beauxbatons. Voldemort did take over a school. And the government. Not so much a correction, but every single time I watch HVP with anyone, I need to stress that in the books, Dumbledore immobilizes Harry while he's under the cloak as he knows Harry would never leave him while Malfoy is there. It annoys me that in the films he stands around like a prize pudding and lets it all happen. You do not get your Hogwarts letter on your 11th birthday. You get it over the summer break before the first school year that starts after you turn 11. Harry's first letter came a week before his birthday. It was just a coincidence that his birthday was the day one actually reached him. Dave Chappelle tells San Francisco audience that Saturday Night Live censored him. Producers told him he couldn't speak about 2 topics, transgender people and Gaza. Rapper T.I., who joined Chappelle on stage in Oakland last November. This is a tangent, but I'm constantly surprised that T.I. hasn't been fully cancelled for admitting that he tested for his daughter's virginity by having her hymen examined repeatedly and regularly. Dave couldn't talk about trans people. Is there even other things for a comedian to talk about? Why did he take the gig then? Why didn't he mention it during the gig? That would have been the edgy time to do so. Now it just looks like a months later punk out. But he talked about Gaza? Dave Chappelle, millionaire victim of censorship. Like and subscribe.